On today's episode of Titus and Tate, it is that time of year.
Secret scrimmage season.
Yeah, it is sandwiched in between. It is like an enclave of the preseason. So we are in the preseason,
Yes.
Tate, but within the preseason lies another season.
There are layers.
Yes.
Like onions.
That is known as secret scrimmage season, where everything that happens in these scrimmages becomes public because, like,
Except for the score.
yeah.
God forbid the score come out, but the highlights will come out.
There's a song and dance that happens from a PR perspective where the coaches that get together decide, like one team always plays better, obviously.
Yes.
They do keep score. And then, like, how much of that
Paolo
information...
Banchero Blue Devils played really good.
How much that information gets leaked is always fascinating to me. Because, as you said, like, some of these games, we know the score. We have a stat line. You're putting out, like when it's an inter-squad scrimmage and you get, like, Purdue... I've seen Purdue playing each other, and they'll put out, like, their actual box scores, and every single second of every game is tracked. And then other ones, it's just, like, your Carolina Tar Heels played Florida. Who the hell knows what happened? Who knows what happened? Nobody knows. Because they both suck and
They don't want to know. We look good.
Right.
I saw the highlights. Brady Manick. You know what's crazy? Well, we'll talk about it when we get to the podcast.
We'll talk about it. Yeah, save it. We're gonna suss out the secret because again, we are one service we do provide to the public. We like to have fun here, but one thing that when we do get serious is we cut through the noise, Tate. There's a lot of chatter out there, a lot of noise out there, and it's hard for people to suss out, like, what do these secret scrimmages even mean?
Yes.
How much stock should we put in them?
Yes.
All that stuff.
You get 2 secret scrimmages, by the way. It's allowed. You get 2.
We are great at, and much like we did with Amani Bates's combine numbers, we are great at seeing the story on the surface. We're seeing the information that's been put out there, and we're here to tell you the real story. So we're gonna talk about some of these secret scrimmages going on. Also, the AP announced their preseason All-American team, Tate.
A great starting 5. I mean, a college basketball, nostalgic starting 5. One of the, you look back on and you say, I remember all these guys' careers. Johnny Juzang, a bunch of legends. You know what I mean?
Legends. You're ready to go there.
Yeah, I feel good about it.
I don't know what I hate about the list, but I'm gonna hate something because by the time we talk about it, I'll be fired.
There's not a lot of blue. It's a new blood list.
Yeah.
Not blue blood.
All right.
Maybe even true blood.
That's it. Maybe we need. So Indiana's not a blue blood. You're saying? Trayce
No, true blood.
Okay. All right. Well, All-Americans. There are secret scrimmages. There's some other stuff. I certainly have on my list. I'm gonna surprise Tate with coming up. But first,
Woody Durham.
Oh, before we get started, how are the ribs? I meant to ask you this last week. How's the men's league going? How's the?
We had a forfeit on Thursday. I was ready to play though, but we didn't have to play because the other team forfeited.
Oh, they forfeited.
They forfeited.
I thought you forfeited.
No, they.
I thought
forfeited.
you forfeited. Okay.
I was ready to play, but I'm back.
What's your guys' record?
4-2.
Okay. Is there a playoff situation?
Yeah.
Should we be like?
We're the 2 seed right now.
Should we be letting the people in on this men's league?
Six teams. We're the 2 seed.
I just wonder if it's my job as a journalist to be, if we should be having regular updates on your men's league endeavors.
No.
For the show. No.
I mean, I've had 23 points. That's my season high. Had 23 points in the game.
I remember when I played with you guys.
And a W. Great time.
That's really good, by the way. Because I remember when I played with you guys a few years ago, and I counted every single pointer I scored, and I remember I had like 26 or something, and I remember saying I still had it, and it wasn't because I was scoring a lot of points. It was more because I had no idea what the score was. I just knew how many points I had, and that was like the last men's league experience I had, was filling in with your team. Yeah.
You're always welcome. You're always welcome.
There are 2 types of. Everyone wants to do the types of men's league players there are. I really feel like there are just 2 types, and they're guys like you and I who don't need to see a box score at the end of our men's league game to know how many points we scored and what our stats were. Yeah. And there's everyone else that's just out there just to like set screens and run around.
Yeah.
And if I play like garbage, I know it. If I play great, I know it. I can tell you. I can go home and like, I don't know, if I'm on the phone with my dad driving home, he's like, "How'd you play?" I'd be like, "Well, I was 4 for 15, didn't have it tonight." But
yeah. I know
exactly.
I will say, like, I'm very much Kobe Bryant. Like, I hope to have as many points as shots, in some of these games. Because, like, at the end of the day, the number one stat I care about that I respect is FGAs. Can you get the shot off? Because, it's hard to get a shot off. If you can get the shot off, like, that's respect.
You got to show. You just got to put it on film. Show the scouts so you can create separation. Get the shot off.
I can get the shot off.
Yeah. We'll worry about making it later.
Yeah.
Exactly. exactly.
I at least can get the shot.
Oh, well, I'm glad you're playing through the injury, though. That's we were worried about you around here.
I'm back.
All right. Well, let's talk about some of these secret scrimmages. I know you get excited about secret scrimmage season. Your team has played in a game against Florida. I don't think the Buckeyes have played yet. Coincidentally, I think Ohio State plays Ole Miss, where I just spent 5 days of my life.
And they were trying to get you excited for Ole Miss basketball.
Yeah, so we're probably going to lose in the secret scrimmage because I had when we were down there, I had a lot of people asking me about Ole Miss basketball. They're like, "What do you think about Ole Miss basketball?" And I was like, "What is there to think?" And they're like, "We're going to be pretty good, right?" And I was like, "What does pretty good even mean around these parts?"
They don't. Yeah.
I was like, I guess. I mean, what do you want me to say? You're putting me on the spot here.
It is strange that the SEC seems to want to be a basketball conference.
They do.
As they're becoming a super conference.
I think that's exactly why they're gonna be great at basketball. Is because I think like you're gonna look up 5-10 years from now, the SEC is going to invest in everything. They're gonna try to be a basketball, baseball, football, women's hockey,
overtime
bowling,
elite.
overtime elite.
Will be in the SEC.
Yes. They're gonna try to be everything conference. So I think that's a fair assessment. I think they're gonna be really good this year, the SEC. Not Ole Miss, but anyway. Back to the point. You are more clued into secret scrimmage season than I am, I think, because your team has played in a secret scrimmage.
Yes.
Carolina versus Florida. What other one? Do you want to start with that, or do you want to? Is there another one that jumps out to you? Villanova Duke is probably the big one.
Let's start with Villanova Duke.
Okay, that's the headline.
That's the Paolo Banchero game,
yes.
right? We're already hearing the noise.
Paolo.
Yes. Do you remember Who's Your Daddy, Batty A? Do you remember the chant? They would say, "Who's your daddy?" They would ask you the question. They would pose it to you, and then they would answer the question themselves and they would say Batty A. I think Paolo's going to have some sort of chant.
I think I started it. I'm picturing a Rock Chalk Jayhawk deal.
Yeah.
Like how Kansas does that, where they're kind of whispering, they're like, Rock Chalk.
I don't think Duke has the.
Yep.
They don't have the stuff.
I picture that with Paolo. At least I'm gonna do that to you when you come on. When you come on the show and Duke is.
The Boo Brothers are coming. They're coming for you, Paolo.
I had someone remind me, by the way, that the Buckeyes got Duke this year in the ACC Big Ten. Yeah,
I was looking at the schedule
in Columbus, dude.
I mean, my goodness, I can't believe they're playing a road game. Can you believe
Let's
it?
go.
I think Coach K is going to pivot to a neutral site pregame. You guys are going to play in the what's Quicken Loans Arena? That's where you're going to play that game.
Yeah, Quicken Loans. Yeah, or they'll play it. Yeah, they'll figure something out, I'm sure. But Villanova Duke is the marquee one, right?
Yeah.
Let's
talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Paolo Banchero, I think, is the real story, and I think we can talk about.
First and foremost, we don't know the actual score of this game, correct? But we do know that all signs point to Duke won this game.
I gauged it based on this, yeah, and this is where we come in for the people, because I think the people are like, who won? They're asking us who won, and I think it's Duke, because Duke won. Duke's social media was more excited about it.
So 1-0. Are we saying Duke is 1-0? So the first win of the Coach K farewell tour. Let's all celebrate. Let's get that number one up. All right, so 1-0 against Villanova. I mean, a two-time national champion in the past 5 years.
Duke is 1-0, but the real story that came out that, like, I think people are the propaganda that's getting out there is definitely Paolo Banchero, because this can dovetail nicely into talking about the preseason All-American team, because Paolo was not on it. He was not listed as one of the five, and I think that was the most egregious omission, because as a man who is basing this off of very little evidence other than my gut, other than just like, again, I remember exactly where I was. I was in a hotel room in Norman, Oklahoma, week 4, was it? Week 3 of the college football season. And I'm sitting there on a Thursday waiting 2 more days till kickoff for Oklahoma-Nebraska game. And something came over me and just said, Paolo Banchero is going to be a star, and Duke is back. And I can't explain it, Tate, but that's how the good Lord works in mysterious ways, especially when it has to do with
Coach. No, you came on this program and you walked in. I didn't know where it came from. And you were like, Paolo Banchero, I'm on the bandwagon. He's the number one pick.
Yeah.
Then I see Sam Vecini puts out his list. He's got Paolo Banchero number 1. And then I think to myself, there's a reason why Coach K said this is his last year, because he thinks he has a shot with Paolo Banchero
getting
to
the number
win
one
the
pick.
title.
Yeah. Who are his number 1 picks? He's had Zion. He's had Kyrie. Is that it?
Yeah.
Are those the only ones?
Yeah. Or Jay Williams. Was he number 1?
No, he's number 2. He was 2 behind Yao, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Elton Brand,
99.
That's a good one. Nice.
Yeah. Elton Brand, 99.
You know, Meta Artest thought that he was going to be the number 1 pick to the Bulls, and then they took Elton Brand, and he was devastated, and then the Bulls picked him at 15th. So then he still ended up getting picked by the Bulls.
He thought he was going number 1?
Yeah. He thought he was, of course.
In 99.
Ryan Artest is like, I'm definitely going number 1. He's like, I played against Elton. I'm better than Elton. And Elton Brand's like, shut up, Ryan.
Imagine thinking you're going number 1 and you fall to 15.
Honestly, half the battle of being the number 1 pick is thinking that you should be number 1. That's kind of why I like Jalen Green. I was like, that guy thinks he should be the number 1 pick.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point. So you're in agreement. You think Duke won this game. You think Duke, it seems like Duke is more excited. But the question, I guess, is you have to ask this about Jay Wright. Is Jay Wright sandbagging?
Yes.
Because I do think that Jay Wright is.
I think he liked this. He's like, I'll lose a preseason game.
Yeah, I don't care. What do I care? What do I care? I'm here to.
He's plotting on beating Carolina when they meet Mohegan Sun later in the year.
But before we dive into any other games, I guess like we maybe should have done this at the top. We need to discuss how important these secret scrimmages actually are.
Okay.
And what are they, Tate? I guess there's that too. Explain to the people what exactly is a secret scrimmage and why is it called a secret scrimmage when we know what happens here.
It's propaganda and it's absolutely ridiculous. We've let it go too far because at the end of the day. You say secret scrimmage, and Titus, what do you and I report on? Scrimmages that have been reported on as secret scrimmages. So, in one sense, they're not secret. You know, they are very much leaked to the public, but media is not allowed to be there. That's why they are deemed secret. But the media still gets the report. The John Rothsteins still get the report that says Wisconsin loses to Sister Jean.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Ramblers.
That's a big one.
That's probably the number 2 story.
That's probably the number 2 one. Yeah, but as a whole, how much stock do you put in these? Do you remember any secret scrimmages of the past? I remember a few.
Okay. I mean, yes, I do. Yes, I remember losing to Vanderbilt. I remember losing to Kevin Stallings, one of our favorite characters on the show.
You're talking about Carolina.
Carolina, yes. Losing to Vanderbilt.
What season was that?
2013, 2014.
You guys sucked that year too, then, right?
Yeah, I mean. If we don't win a title, if we're not going to the Final Four, it's a bad year.
So I guess that's the question: is how much stock should like people put into these secret scrimmages? As you see, like
you take some stock because, like in this sense, if you're Duke, you do take stock because you come out of this and you say, "Hey,
you feel pretty good about it.
We're 1-0,
yeah,
and we beat Villanova." But there are times that you say, "Hey, we lost to Vanderbilt. Does it really matter?" Yeah. Wisconsin losing to Loyola,
That means something.
That means something.
That means something to me. It means something. The one I remember meaning the most in recent times, which by the way, were these. We never when I was at Ohio State, which didn't feel like that long ago, but I'm getting older every year. It feels like I get 1 year older every year. What the hell's going on here? We didn't have any secret scrimmages. This is a relatively new thing.
Yeah,
right?
Now it's a thing that is allowed by the NCAA.
Yeah.
You get 2 of these.
So one that I remember forming my opinion on that team the entire season was, do you remember the Nevada, I think it was Muss's last Nevada team.
Yeah.
That they went to the
Martin Twins.
Did they go to the Sweet 16 the year before and then brought a lot of dudes back and he got a bunch of transfers and like we were looking over the roster just like, oh my God, there's going to be McDonald's All-Americans that aren't even getting minutes on this team and they are just loaded from the
they had like 7 guys that averaged 20 points per game.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. 7 dudes that had a season at one point where they averaged 20 plus. And then they were really old too, if I remember right.
Yeah.
They had you're like they check every box.
We went and saw them play USC that year. Remember that?
Yeah. They checked every box on the preseason cliches, like reason to be excited about this team, like experience, bring a lot of guys back, score galore, all that stuff. And I remember they scrimmaged Washington in a secret scrimmage, and Washington wiped the floor with them. And that was like this time of year, and I remember thinking, I cannot forget that. Like I just can't. I wish the damage control coming out of Reno would have been, this doesn't matter. It's just a secret scrimmage. We're just feeling things out.
Yeah.
But me, on the other end of it, as a neutral observer, was like, I can't believe in Nevada this year. And ultimately, what did they lose in the second round that year? I want to say. I got to pull that up.
I just remember they got in a fight at one point. Remember that when they had to go to the locker room when they were on the road? That they had a lot of drama that season. That's really all I remember. But the Must Bus moved on. Got to Arkansas. Phil Booth is another one I remember.
Phil Booth.
He had 41 points against North Carolina. Famously had 20 in the title game against Carolina in 2016.
Dude, they lost in that Nevada team, by the way.
Yeah.
That I'm remembering. I just looked it up. 2019. Eric Musselman. That was his final year, right? Because then he goes to because then Alfred takes over. They were the 7th seed and lost to Florida by 9 in the first round. So you tell me how much stock to put in these things. Phil Booth was a good. That's the one that stands out to me as like I can't shake this. I think Nevada was like good that year in the sense that they were winning a lot of games.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't get out of my head.
30-point comeback in one game, if I remember correctly.
It was like it was similar to Houston this past year, where Houston loses to Tulsa and East Carolina.
Houston went to the Final Four.
But they were. Hold on a second.
Titus still haven't gotten over Houston going.
Dude,
to the
they were
Final Four.
frauds, but they lost. Houston lost to East Carolina.
That's one of the things we should do before the start of the new season. Is like things that we like. We
Final
write on a piece
judgment.
of paper and we just throw it on the fire. You know.
No. But part of why I kept thinking Houston was a fraud is because they lost to East Carolina and Tulsa, and as the season progressed, and then they dodged Gonzaga. They don't want to play Gonzaga, and they play Our Lady of the Lake. So approaching the tournament, I was like, Houston's a fraud. I can't shake the fact that they lost to East Carolina. I just can't get it out of my head. That's what I'm saying about the secret scrimmages. And then they were a fraud. They made it to the. What game did you say they made it to? It doesn't matter. They lost. They got destroyed by Baylor and proved me right.
Yes, that's right.
It was a Mickey Mouse tournament, and when they actually played a real team, they got.
Well, Illinois
destroyed.
was supposed to come out of that.
Yeah. Anyway, point is, I remember that Nevada game and Nevada Washington. I remember seeing that tweet. That was kind of my feeling about Wisconsin Loyola. I think that's my version. I don't think it's. I think the one that I'm going to latch onto and be like, oh, that's a big deal, is Wisconsin losing to Sister Jean. Loyola's got a new coach. They got Krutwig's gone, and they should not. They simply should not be Wisconsin. And when we were in Wisconsin, walking around with Brad doing the tour, God, that feels like 3 years ago, Jim. Brad seemed actually optimistic about the team. Like, I was trying to get like some honest answer from him. I'm like, what do you think about the team this year? And he said last year. My analogy that I kept throwing out was Wisconsin was a loveless marriage, Tate. That they just, like, all these dudes were old. Like, if you remember going into last year, people were excited about Wisconsin because the same sort of thing as the Nevada team, where it's like veterans coming
back.
back.
Are 25 years old.
They all know each other. Yeah, the Chicago Bulls stat, right? They were older than the Bulls starting lineup. Brad was like, this year we're going to be better because we're going to have some fresh blood. We got some studs on the team coming in. He's like, last year just felt a little. We kind of just got a little rigid with, like, our roles on the team and all that. And, like, we ended up, I forget what they did in the tournament, but he was like, we ended up playing well in the tournament. I forget who they.
I can't remember who they played.
I can't remember what
happened. Whatever. Whatever the tournament, Jim.
But he said they were excited this year, and I got to be honest, Brad, if you're watching this, if you're listening, I can't be excited. I just can't. Like, this is the Nevada example for me.
I think karma always comes back around, and what they did to Roy Williams was so disrespectful that. What are Sister Jean and God are on our side?
What are other ones? Do you remember other ones? You said you brought up Stallings, and Vanderbilt beating Carolina. I do remember Phil Booth dropping 41 on you guys in a secret scrimmage.
I remember John Wall, like, Kentucky played. I don't know if even it was a secret scrimmage or maybe it was even like a preseason scheduled game.
Kentucky versus Kentucky.
No, just like.
Like the exhibition games.
I just remember going to school in high school and going to drafting class and pulling up highlights of that game and John Wall being ridiculous, and we were just like, okay, Kentucky's going to be it was going to be Derrick Rose 2.0 basically is what it looked like, and basically was that. But yeah, I mean, there's so many of these reports too at the start of the year.
What was Carolina, Florida? What was the vibe coming out of that one?
I mean, based on the highlights, we won substantially. We blew them out. We embarrassed them.
Based on
our highlights.
Based on our highlights. So the Carolina Instagram account
on our highlights
didn't put out Florida highlights?
I didn't see Florida highlights. I saw our highlights. I didn't see Florida score. I don't think they scored based on what I've seen. So, I mean, great defense. A lot of offensive rebounding.
Get to the bottom of that. Did Florida put out highlights?
I don't think Florida scored.
Jim, what I want you to do in the next 3 to 5 minutes is watch the Carolina highlights and watch the Florida highlights and report back to us who.
I think Florida deleted their account after the game.
Watch both highlight tapes and tell us who looks better.
0 points.
Tell us who looks better.
No, but Brady Manick, to really talk about it, Brady Manick is 4 minutes of the 6 minutes of the highlights. Brady Manick is shooting.
Is he going to start?
No. So Dawson Garcia, who we brought from Marquette, he came 5 stars, comes in. He's like, I'm getting NIL deals. I play at North Carolina. I don't know if he is getting those things, but that was the plan. And he has to start, for optics. But Brady, he didn't play in the scrimmage. Brady started. And in the highlights, it's Brady Manick just shooting corner threes. I'm like, what is going on?
What does he look like now?
Brady Manick?
Yeah.
He's got a headband on.
Does he have the long hair and the mustache?
Got the long hair, got the full beard, looking great.
He's got like a full beard.
Oh, he's nice.
Wow, interesting.
Nice. So it's a lot of Brady Manick. I wanted a lot. Caleb Love, Armando Bacot, they're there, but Brady Manick was a lot of the highlights. A lot of offensive rebounds.
I don't think you're.
Again, Florida did not score.
I don't think you're selling this well. We're gonna have Jim report back.
No, we're a good basketball team.
Brady,
we shoot a lot of threes, Titus. That's what I'm saying.
I know, but what I'm saying is, if Brady Manick is 4 of your 6 minutes of your highlight, is that where you want to be as a program? That like you have 6 minutes worth of highlights, and 4 of those are Brady Manick.
There's a lot of Brady Manick shots.
Oh my God, dude.
Caleb Love was in there. I didn't see Kerwin. RJ Davis is going to have a good year. But Dawson Garcia did not play in the scrimmage, and he's a 5-star, so we got to see what he looks like.
Another one that jumped out to me was Texas Tech blew out Wichita State, and but both of these programs I don't think move the needle quite like they used to. But Texas Tech is going to be interesting this year because remember O'Banner from Oral Roberts, Asmus's sidekick. He's at Texas
Tech.
Why
he left.
Yeah,
that's
why he left. And Tech lost Chris Beard, and I think the country. I don't know. I'm not going to speak for the whole country, but there's probably a lot of people that when Chris Beard left Texas Tech, they probably are like, all right, I guess we don't have to pay attention to Texas Tech anymore. I don't think Texas Tech is going away as a program.
No.
I think they're invested in basketball, and they're going to have a good basketball program.
We saw Old Town Road at the Final Four, I mean, in Minnesota.
Yeah.
You've never seen a fan base rocking like that.
I don't think you can get, like, a shot away from winning a national title, or 2 shots, whatever it was. I'd have to watch the film
and not
again.
be bad.
Yeah, and not be, like... and then like your coach leaves and be like,
great pass by Ty Jerome to DeAndre Hunter for that 3. I mean, that was
I don't think you can get to that point as a program, and then like your coach leaves and you just shrug your shoulders and you're like, oh well, like we're not. No, those fans, they're there, and Wichita State, I think is going to be semi-interesting in the American. We talked about that, right? Like the American's going to be maybe as interesting as the Big East. I mean, depending on what happens with UConn and Xavier, if UConn and Xavier can step up, right? I don't know. So. That one stood out to me. Were any of that jumped out to you? That
Arizona secret scrimmage against St. Mary's.
Okay.
I like to just know
what happened to that one.
I just so Jim, look it up. I only saw the Arizona highlights, and it looked like Arizona.
St. Mary's didn't score.
They did not score. I mean, crazy. I think that's what I hate about the secret scrimmages, because they don't give me the scores, so I don't know what to think other than like the propaganda that's put in front of my face. But Tommy Lloyd, just the fact that Arizona's playing St. Mary's says that he already has that, that WCC charm and that international flair that's going to come to the Arizona program. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah. Trying to.
Yeah, he's going after St. Mary's. He's like trying to get the Aussies. Yeah. The Gales.
That's a good point. What is your strategy if you're talking about Tommy Lloyd playing St. Mary's, and I being a new coach, just in general, because I'm thinking about like Jay Wright not being afraid to just go play Duke, and Jay Wright though he'll play anybody anywhere and any sort of secret scrimmage situation. But
isn't it funny? I forgot to put this out that Duke played in a neutral site. Like the secret scrimmage was not at Villanova.
Where they played in DC, was it?
Yeah. He refuses to play at someone's game. That's why he's gonna lose at Ohio State unless he moves the game.
We gotta go. I think I gotta go.
We gotta go. We gotta go boo this man.
That's the same week, by the way, of the I think it's the Big Ten football championship in Indy. So I might I might have to just move back to the Midwest for that whole week. But if you're a coach, what is your strategy? Because I was thinking about this with talking to my dad about. By the way, Coach Titus went to Ohio State Indiana football game, which I said on the last show I was semi-nervous about.
Blowout. Absolute blowout. I checked in on it for you. I was like, I'm gonna see if there's any juice in this blowout.
Buckeyes might be back.
Buckeyes,
they might be back.
They're a top 14. Let's be honest. I think Ohio State. I said earlier in the year Cincinnati is the best team in Ohio. I'm gonna stand by that because they haven't lost. Dude, but Ohio State is.
That's a.
And also Oregon's top 10, so that wasn't a bad loss.
No,
in retrospect.
No, it was a bad matchup. Yeah, bad matchup.
Thank you, Andy Katz.
My father runs into Coach Mata, and by runs in, I think Mata probably got him tickets in the first place. But he bumps into Coach, and he says, "Hey, Indiana's playing Belmont. You guys are playing Belmont.
Nice.
In a secret scrimmage. How do I get to this game? Because these are my dad's 2 favorite teams. If you listen to the show, you remember my dad last year
loves Belmont.
Fell in love with Belmont. Went on a Dick Vitale
rant.
Huge
snub.
Yeah, when they were snubbed from the tournament. And then Belmont, Coach Alexander sends my dad like a whole quarter zip. He's swagged out.
He looks like he worked for the program.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like a handwritten note that's like, you're welcome anytime, which is really all it takes. Like you get one of those from one of these programs, you're like, I'm in, I'm done.
I mean, look at us. Think about, LMU. That's what they did to us.
True.
We're like, we're in.
So my dad asked Dad, can I come to the game? And Dad was like, absolutely not. It's a closed scrimmage, Bill. Like we're not gonna let you in. He's like, fine, I'll just call Coach Alexander and he'll let me in. That's what he said to him. I think my dad's really going to try to go.
That's incredible.
But he was telling me IU's playing Belmont. I know that IU has a garbage non-conference schedule this year, and part of it, I mean, not even part of it. The reason why is because they got a new coach. Mike Woodson's never coached a college basketball game in his life. A lot of new guys. Trayce Jackson-Davis is back, but like they're rehauling the entire program. They're not playing Archie Miller pack line defense anymore. They're going to play a more NBA style, brand of basketball. So
what is NBA style defense in your opinion?
You just outscore them. Outscore them on the other end. Beat them down the floor to the other end, and
that's why Brooklyn's so fascinating to me, because I think that's their plan. They're like, Kevin's just gonna have 50 and we're gonna win. Yeah.
But to get to the point I'm trying to make here, or the question I'm trying to ask you, Indiana's like not really. They're slowly easing in. They're like slowly.
Which brings up the biggest story about Indiana, which I have to talk to you about. They were supposed to play Cincinnati.
Yes.
They were supposed to play Wes Miller.
Yeah, and they're not.
And they ducked them.
Yeah. But my question to you is, if you're a first-year coach, newish roster, what is your philosophy? This was the question all along, Tate. What is your philosophy as a new coach? Are you Tommy Lloyd,
No.
which St. Mary's isn't like a big bad wolf by any stretch of the imagination, but I don't know, pick a first-year coach. It's like, we'll play anybody, anywhere, bring it on, secret scrimmage, we'll come to you, don't care. Or are you more of a Mike Woodson, like, we got to get wins, man?
Yeah, I'm Mike Woodson, Leonard Hamilton. Leonard Hamilton, Florida State, they don't play anybody.
Yeah.
They
How
don't
come when Coach K does it and doesn't go anywhere on the road, that's bad?
What do you mean, like during the season?
Yeah.
Because Coach K is terrified. The last true road game he played was 1991. Before I was born, that was the last time Duke played truly on the road.
Like, but when
don't look it up, but that's true. That's true.
It might be true, honestly. Like the last.
No, I mean it was probably like 2006 at least. They're geniuses with the neutral sites, but
yeah.
To go back to your point, if I am a new coach, I don't play anybody. I have. The secret is that we're a secret.
Ooh.
Nobody knows us.
Yeah.
There's no tape on us. There's no word on us. No one even knows who's starting on my team.
Yeah.
No one on my team even knows. I don't even know who's starting.
We even canceled the Midnight Madness stuff.
Yeah. No one sees anything. It's blacked out.
I put out a press release that I've kicked 3 people off the team, but I don't even tell people who they are.
Mm-hmm. But we also signed 3 new better players.
3.
But actually, no one got kicked off. It's all misdirection.
Jim, have you figured out who won the Florida-Carolina?
Yeah, Florida won.
Florida won 15 games last year.
And they won the secret scrimmage.
So Florida basketball's back is what you're saying, Jim. You're saying, did you see the Florida highlights?
Mike White.
Did they put highlights out?
No, but UNC did, and they had the score blurred out the whole time, and they say few reliable details have come out of this UNC footage.
The
so
score blurred out the whole time.
Yeah, so
that's not a good
Florida.
look,
I know. So Florida won.
The score.
In general, anyway.
Dude, I'm telling you, Florida did not score in the game. That's why they blurred it out. It's called respect. It's called class. It's called being a good sport.
You wouldn't put out highlights of a secret scrimmage if you had class or respect.
When you absolutely blow someone out in a secret scrimmage and they don't score, Jim, you have to have some decorum. You have to have some class and say,
and keep it a secret.
No, you blur out the score because you don't want people to see they have 0.
Duke didn't tell anyone about their secret scrimmage.
It all comes down to relevant donuts, Jim. Okay?
No.
What else is there? What else in these secret scrimmages? I'm looking at a schedule coming up. I think
Indiana dodged Cincinnati. That's
Indiana did dodge Cincinnati. We got IU Belmont coming up though. Ohio State Ole Miss that we talked about. Houston is supposed to play Texas.
Wow.
Which I'm curious, not so much in what happens there. I'm curious as to what gets reported as happening there in that one. Houston versus Texas is supposedly coming up. UCLA San Diego State, I saw they're supposed to play.
That's nice.
That's interesting.
They always have. I mean,
they
that's
lost
always,
last year to San Diego State.
That's when Chris Smith went down.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, who's the Baylor kid? The Langston Love tore his ACL against they scrimmaged A&M. I saw, and their star tore his ACL. I don't know how, or I don't know if he's the star, but he was like one of their star recruits. I don't know how much it's going to affect them. But I was high on Baylor coming into the season. But honestly, all my Baylor opinions are based off of Matthew Meyer. That's it. Like, if Matthew Meyer is as good as I want him to be.
Yeah, I think he might be the best small forward in the country.
If he's the best small forward in the country, Baylor is good enough to repeat.
Yeah.
If Matthew Meyer is as good as he was last year, which is like he had flashes last year, obviously. That's why we're so excited about him. But I'm worried. I'm worried he doesn't like because he seems almost too cool. He seems like a guy that's like not trying to average 25 a game. He's trying to have like one game every 4 games where he scores 30 and that's it, and then like take some nights off because why do I got to play hard? Did you not see what I did at West Virginia the other night? Why do I have to play hard at TCU? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
I played well the other night. That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Baylor?
I think they'll be good. I think Baylor got disrespected. They're a top 5 team.
Top 5 team?
Yeah. That's what I think.
Oh, no.
I think you put them there. Out of respect. It's a new blood. If it's all going to be new bloods, which it's leaning new bloods, you know, as a blue blood, I have to say keep it consistent. You know, it's kind of when you watch a game that's being officiated a certain way. It's like just keep it consistent. If we can maul people and you're not going to call it, great. Just keep it consistent. That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking. So in that sense, Baylor should have been a top 5 team. I think he's the best small forward in the country. I really do. I'm all in on Baylor.
Someone keeping track of all these.
No, this is how you do it. It's preseason. Nobody cares. No one's listening.
Is this year Chris Smith was Player of the Year?
Was I right or was I right? I mean, UCLA. UCLA to the Final Four. Who had that other than me? Think about that. And Chris Smith was vital.
You saying Chris Smith was going to be National Player of the Year?
I think if you play the clip back, I say Chris Smith, if he wins National Player of the Year, they're going to the Final Four. And the truth about it was the right logic and the wrong pick.
Right logic, wrong pick.
Yes.
There it is. Speaking of secret scrimmages, we can't forget the
USC at Grand Canyon. That happened.
When did that happen?
I just pulled this up. 10-23.
Really? How'd that one go? We don't know.
USC won. Grand Canyon did not score in what I saw.
Jesus, dude. The secret scrimmage we can't forget about is the Dream Team versus the College All-Stars.
Ooh.
That's the ultimate. That's the OG secret scrimmage.
Yes.
The Dream Team versus the College All-Stars.
Yes.
When the college team beat the Dream Team. Never forget.
And the Monte Carlo game.
The Monte Carlo game is the real secret scrimmage. That's the real one.
That's the number one.
Because that one's like actually secret.
Yeah.
In terms of the footage is out there, but is it really?
Yeah. And some people say that wasn't even the Monte Carlo game that's out there. That footage is from a different game. But
that's a good point.
It's the Monte Carlo game.
The college versus the Dream Team wasn't actually a secret scrimmage because they were very open about it the whole time. They're like, this is happening. Here's what happened.
Yeah. I think that ruined Christian Laettner's confidence.
Yeah.
I think that's when he was like, I'm okay.
When Chris Webber, it was Webber, right? Webber and Penny and who else?
Grant
Hill.
Yeah.
Was that the team? Well, no shit, they played well.
No, of course, they're like it's like all Hall of Famers. You know
Bobby Hurley at point guard.
like 18 to 22 range. You know,
playing as hard as they can, and the Dream Team is all hungover and like, what the hell are we doing here? Yeah. Kind of like the USA team in Vegas this year in the lead up to the Olympics, where they were like, what are we doing? We're playing games that don't matter. Why am I here?
Yeah, losing.
What the hell is this about? All right, well, let's take a break. We're gonna talk about some All-Americans. Also, I want to throw some Vegas odds at you because we teased this last week when the AP poll came out. How we don't have to talk about odds because we have an AP poll to talk about. And then I got curious because like I had people when we were in Ole Miss, I had a lot of fans asking me about gambling stuff, like what's a good gambling move for.
That's what sports is now.
Yeah, I know. And I was like, I don't even know what the odds are. So I looked them up. Some stuff jumped out to me.
I love that people are kind of either like, Titus, you like this? You're like, okay. You're like trying to talk about their point guard.
They're like, what's a value pick you like? And I was like, I don't even know what. I don't know. What's that? Like
have you seen Big Cat's Mega Parlay? You think that looks good?
Take a look at this. Tell me what you think.
Also, Gonzaga, no secret scrimmages. I forgot to say that. They have no secret scrimmages. The number one team in the country. So maybe that sets the tone.
Wow.
You don't need secret scrimmages.
I think that's the way to do it.
That's how our last point of reflection.
But they used to. I remember one year they scrimmaged Baylor and tied because that was the PR that was put out. Like Scott Drew and Mark Few.
Baylor versus Gonzaga was supposed to be something special.
Yeah.
But Baylor just off night.
One year One year, I swear to God, they scrimmaged and they tied. And I remember, like, why would you tell? Like, I don't understand how. It broke my brain. Why would you even do the scrimmage to just the tie? I don't know. I didn't like it.
A tie makes no sense.
So maybe that was the last Gonzaga secret scrimmage. I don't know. Let's take a break. Come back and talk All-Americans though.
Let's do it.
All right, AP preseason All-Americans are out, Tate. This is your team. This is it. This is your preseason All-American team, which is the most important team in college basketball, because it's the team that has all the hype. And then like whatever happens with these guys, we can run. Like for example, last year Remy Martin, first team All-American preseason.
Yes.
Did not live up to the hype.
No.
We kill him for it. Now he's preseason Big 12 player of the year.
Preseason again.
Not preseason All-American, but he's preseason.
I have obviously been very high on Kansas as we go into the preseason, but I am worried about that.
As we do laugh about Remy Martin being preseason first team All-American last year, we should point out that last year the AP killed it otherwise, because I think Remy Martin tied with Corey Kispert, I want to say, somebody. But the 5 guys that they had other than Remy Martin, because there were 6 on the preseason team last year, because
what is this, the NBA?
Yes. The other 5 dudes, Luka Garza, Jared Butler, Ayo Dosunmu, Cade Cunningham, and Corey Kispert, those were the 5 at the end. Those were the 5 postseason.
Yeah.
So they nailed it.
I mean, and it was just because all those guys lived up to the hype, really. So you have to give them credit. Because, I mean, this
not
really
the
is...
AP. You're not giving the AP credit.
As a journalist, Titus, I'm giving the AP a tip of the cap. This is a hat tip, but I am just saying that those players lived up to the hype. It wasn't that hard last year. You kind of knew. We all kind of knew.
Okay, so let's use last year as a jumping off point for this year then, because last year.
Because I feel like we all kind of know, which is exciting about this list.
So do you think these are the? I guess that's the question then. Do you think these are the 5 best players in the country? Did they get anything right or wrong?
I think we're 4 for 5.
Who did we miss?
I'm not gonna say. I don't like to name. The name.
It's Trayce Jackson-Davis, isn't it?
No,
that's the one you're trying to take off.
I said I think we're about 4 for 5.
That's the one you're trying to take off.
I think Drew Timme has Christian Laettner potential, and obviously it's Christian Laettner light. But I think the stash. I think Chet Holmgren now is doing that as well. I mean, Gonzaga has a very much, and America's upset because they think they were overrated all year and that they don't play a real schedule, and then Baylor kind of, quote unquote, exposed that. So they just have this. They're the bad guy, for they're the big dog. You know what I mean? That for the first time, really, I think. And Drew Timme is the face of that. So I love him on this team. I think it's great for college basketball to have a face that's familiar.
So it's not Drew Timme.
It's not Drew Timme. Johnny Juzang is.
It's not him. I'll tell you that. How much you love this guy.
Johnny Juzang is what we hoped. He's like the hero we deserved. You know what I mean? And I'm worried. Usually when that happens, like the way I say that phrasing, it's a two-faced situation. So I hope we don't get the bad side of Johnny Juzang. I hope we only get greatness. But I'm so happy that he's back to be the face of the blue blood UCLA. Good to see UCLA back here.
I have 1 week. I just pulled up my calendar. I have 1 week to make my decision. I put it in my. I don't know if you even remember me doing this, but was it last week? I said I have to make a decision on UCLA whether I'm buying.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Because I put them their number 1 as my number 1. They're both my number 1 team in the country, and my number 1 fraud in the country.
They're my number 2 team in the country.
Who's number 1? Gonzaga. Baylor.
Kansas is number 1.
Kansas is number 1
on my list.
But you would vote Gonzaga number 1.
Yes.
But also Baylor's top 5.
Yes, Baylor's top 5.
And UCLA. Okay, got it.
UCLA is number 2. Just like LaMelo in the MVP voting right now, number 2 behind Steph Curry.
I don't know where I fall on UCLA yet, and I still have a week to decide. I put a reminder. November 1st, I'm going to have an update for you. So get excited. 1 week from today, I'm gonna have an update whether I'm buying into UCLA or not.
So those 2 though, right? We can both agree that's great for college basketball.
Yeah, I think Johnny Juzang
to have those 2 guys that game, like to have 2 stars in that amazing game. Obviously, we lose Suggs, but the fact that we add Chet.
I think Johnny Juzang belongs.
They play each other earlier in the year.
I think Johnny Juzang belongs on the preseason All-American team. I don't think he belongs as like a lock. Like
he's
100%.
a lock. He's a lock. Timme and Juzang are locks because we're David Stern here, right? We have to market this product. We have to market the product. So these guys, they're Final Four.
Okay,
they're programs that Jordan Brand now. I mean, this is what we want.
Between Chet Holmgren and Hunter Salas, is Drew Timme going to be the 3rd best player?
No, he's the best player.
You think
he's
the best?
Okay. He's the best player on the team.
Okay.
Fact.
Okay. All right. I'm asking questions. I'm just asking questions.
Johnny Juzang is either the best player on his team or Peyton Watson, our 5-star, is the best player on the team.
Hami Hackett, or what did
Triple J.
What did Barkley call him? I forget. That was so funny. That was the original. That was like Perk trying to say Moses Moody was Barkley.
But Hami Hackett is the man.
Jamie Jazzquez.
I think this was Jamie Jazzquez.
Jamie Jazzquez.
Honestly, Jamie Jazzquez gets buckets. Like, that kid is really good. And he's kind of the fail-safe. If Johnny is struggling, if he's kind of has a Devin Booker moment where he's a little bit in his head, Triple J is going to be there.
Triple J or Double J? Take your pick.
He's a junior. It's Jaime Jaquez Jr.
I know, but Johnny Juzang is what I'm saying. Johnny Juzang and then Double J, Triple J.
Yeah, it's Double J until you need another J. And he's open.
Okay, so Timme, you're saying is a lock. Juzang's a lock.
Yes.
Collin Gillespie, Trayce Jackson-Davis, Kofi Cockburn. Those are your other three.
Kofi Cockburn is a lock.
Okay.
Kofi Cockburn in Illinois, I think it's probably better for them. What are they, like 11 or 12? That's what we saw. That's probably a good range for them to kind of stay off the radar.
I think it was 11.
But Trayce Frazier is going to be first team all defense Big Ten. So you got one of the best defensive guards. You got one of the best offensive guards in Curbelo. So both sides. And what do we need in the tournament? We need defense. We need guard play. So we got that covered. Yeah. And now we got a big man, the best big man in college basketball, other than maybe Drew Timme, on the list.
Okay.
Locked.
Kofi Cockburn. I like this move too because if you're talking about being David Stern and
do you think he's on the line for you?
I think it's tough to put Kofi Cockburn on the preseason All-American team, given what happened against Cameron Krutwig. I think like the taste that was left in my mouth watching that was, and same with
There's
Drew Timme.
There's also a rumor that Kofi Cockburn may have to sit out a game because he sold some clothes or whatever, like during his test. I don't, man. Of course I don't care.
Who cares?
But that's just something that's out there.
But
so
I guess similarly, Drew Timme, the last we saw him was not great either. So,
exposed.
Yeah.
But that's the drama. That's what we need to market this product. I mean, these guys.
These guys who were exposed on the.
They laid a flat egg, and what do? You bounce back.
Yeah.
You have to climb again. You have to rise.
Kofi Cockburn being in over.
I feel like Dickie V right now. I feel like I'm just like hyping up the whole season. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Cockburn being in over Hunter Dickinson is awesome though. Like
of course.
For content, for online arguments, for like stoking those flames. I think you leave both those guys off. If you leave Cockburn off, say, and put Paolo Banchero on there, we don't get Illinois Michigan fights.
Do you think that's the one that's missing, Paolo?
Paolo's the one that's missing. Yeah,
I think Paolo should be on it.
If I was redoing this, I'm taking off either Gillespie or Jackson-Davis. Jackson-Davis is.
I'm taking Trayce Jackson-Davis off for Paolo Banchero.
He's gonna be good though.
I know he's gonna be good, but I don't like.
He is good.
I don't like that the heat is on him. I don't like that they gave him this press. I bet Mike Woodson didn't show it to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I bet Mike Woodson was like, you don't just because we had some film sessions that were good does not mean you're ready.
So you're taking TJD off
for Paolo.
Oh, for Paolo
Banchero.
You're willing to admit Paolo is coming.
I'll put him first team. Yeah.
I love it
because he's Harrison Barnes, right? I mean. He's Duke's Harrison Barnes.
You know, Zion was, as a reminder, in 2019, he was not preseason All-American. RJ Barrett was.
Because we were scared.
Yeah.
Not us, but the AP was scared.
Yeah, it was like Dedrick Lawson, I think, that year, and like Carson Edwards, which it proved to be pretty good.
Yeah.
RJ Barrett proved to be pretty good. I mean, he was nasty.
RJ Barrett is now underrated somehow. He's such a great defender, and nobody talks about it.
Cam Reddish is off to a good start, by the way, right?
Yeah, he's the Hawks. The Hawks. It's not Cam Reddish.
Can you imagine those?
They're giving Cam Reddish the credit, but if you know, it's DeAndre Hunter.
Can you imagine if Zion,
it's DeAndre Hunter.
RJ
hit that shot earlier. We were talking about Ty Jerome in the corner.
If Zion, RJ, and Cam Reddish were actually healthy during that 2019 run, like what they
would have lost to Virginia.
Wait, hold on. I got it in my ear. They were healthy. They were healthy.
Yeah.
That whole season, huh? And they didn't make the final.
No.
Interesting. I bet that's embarrassing for whoever was their coach. Where did they play again?
No, can you imagine this, like watching the top 75 list come out and having 0 players on it? I mean, my God.
What about Kobe? Does he count as a Duke?
Jim,
Kobe was Duke.
Pull up the tape of Kobe Bryant talking to Jimmy Kimmel where he's asked about this, and he said he would have gone to North Carolina because he wanted to go up against Vince Carter, who was the #1 shooting guard in the class in front of him. And in fact, some people have said that Kobe Bryant kind of took Vince Carter, like the baton should have gone to Vince, but Kobe was like, "That's mine. I believe it's mine," and he took it away.
Which I would argue makes him a Duke guy, right? That he became.
And that video is a deep fake, by the way.
Jim, we were there.
Jim made that.
And 2019, Coach K wasn't healthy, so.
Oh, that's right.
Thank you.
That's right.
Yeah,
Coach K wasn't healthy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's what it was.
Respect.
Mm-hmm.
Respect with a K.
Respect the
Thoughts
goat.
and prayers.
Yeah.
Respect with a K. Who else should make this list? I don't know. I think
I feel pretty good about the list. And
I think
Trayce
Chet's gotta be
Jackson-Davis
on
I'm
there.
fine with because I think seniority rules, so you give it to him. That's college basketball. Gillespie's seniority rules, you give it to him. That's college basketball.
I think they overthought. I think Chet's got to be on there. I think you can't put two. You don't think so? What are you talking about? Hyping up dudes and like
No way.
trying to control narratives and being David Stern. David Stern would put Chet Holmgren on. He's the best recruit since LeBron, dude.
I would have put Jalen Suggs on the list last year. Chet's going to be playing next to Timme. Timmy's the star. Chet's shooting threes. Timmy's dominating the game.
Go to YouTube.com right now.
I know Chet. I want Chet to be good. I'm just saying you don't put him on this list.
You don't put him on a like Harrison
You
Barnes.
put Paolo Banchero on this list for Coach K. That's what you do.
Okay,
That's the move.
but don't you think Chet Holmgren, who is going to be the number 1 pick in the draft?
Is he?
I don't know.
Because Sam Vecini and you both said it was going to be
Paolo.
Paolo Banchero. So I think that's the answer.
I think if when you're coming off a recruiting cycle where everybody reclassified, where
Yes.
all these guys played on TV like 30 different times, where you had
Is
guys like
Jalen Duren the one that's missing from this list?
maybe you had guys double classify and recommit and decommit and change and God knows what. This was a recruiting class that had 7 guys that are number 1 in the class. And there was one who was number 1 more than all the other number 1s. And that guy's name was Chet Holmgren. And I think you have to respect recruiting and put Chet Holmgren on the preseason All-American list. But
I think
it's okay.
Brady Manning's going to have a higher 3-point percentage than Chet Holmgren this season.
That's fine. I think Chet Holmgren's going to be 7'4" or whatever.
I'm
he
not
is,
saying that
blocking
Brady
1,000
should have been
shots.
considered, but Baycott should have been considered.
You're drunk now. Get out of here. We
Respect
can't have this.
Baycott.
We can't have this. You don't mean that.
No,
Jalen Duren could have been.
I know. Jalen Duren could have actually been.
He's going to be better than Amani. He's definitely going to be the best player on Memphis.
What about Jaden? Purdue Jaden.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to be on there. I think this is.
See, that's my problem with Trayce Jackson-Davis. I don't think that he wants to be on there either because it's better to be the hunter than the hunted.
Then
in
give
these
me
situations.
give me your top 3 guys that are not on the preseason All-American list, that are not on any of the top 5 that you think will become first team All-Americans or have the best chance. If you get 3 shots to name one guy that's going to be a postseason All-American, and it's not any of those 5. Who are 3 guys?
Oh man,
Give me your power rankings.
Paolo Banchero is number 1.
Yeah.
Caleb Love is number 2. Not even kidding. Caleb Love.
Jan, we need like a buzzer for when Tate is just getting off track with the
Caleb Love is number 2 on my list.
the Carolina. A man who just played in a scrimmage and we saw 0 highlights of it.
Ochai Agbaji from Kansas, number 3.
What is happening?
I'm only
is this
listing,
Jason McIntyre sitting across
no,
from me?
I'm only listing.
What is happening,
I'm only
dude?
listing blue bloods because this is a new blood list. I'm trying to get some blue bloods in there.
Oh my god.
No, I mean honestly, Paolo Banchero should be on this list. That's all I see when I see this now. I feel like that's what we learned from the secret scrimmages. He should have been preseason All-American. But otherwise, we have two great forward-facing guys. Johnny Juzang, Drew Timme. I mean, those are the guys we care about.
Give me Paolo. He belongs on. I think he's going to make it by the end of the year.
Duren needs to be on it. I mean, in all seriousness, Duren's really my number 2. So Paolo's number 1, Jalen Duren's number 2, and then number 3, Caleb Love.
Jaden Ivey, Max Asmus,
Caleb Love.
EJ Liddell,
Caleb Love.
Buddy Boeheim.
Oh, Buddy Boeheim.
Here's a sneaky pick. You want to talk about some Vegas odds? Who's the dude that Kenny Lofton? It was Kenny Lofton Jr. The kid that remember the U19 thing this summer with Chet Holmgren and Jaden Ivey were playing on the team, and
Team USA. Yeah.
Louisiana Tech kid, the Kenny Lofton Jr. Because I thought, like, when I was watching those games, I thought it was Kenny Lofton's actual son.
It's not.
But he was like the go-to guy in crunch time. So if you're putting your Bill Simmons cap on and like who's the guy?
Oh yeah, he's the big.
You know what I mean? Yeah, the big dude.
Yeah. He was the best player on the team.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So if you're doing like the all-star team, who gets the ball in the crunch time moments for Team USA? Kenny Lofton Jr., Louisiana Tech. Is he a sleeper All-American pick? You have to consider it.
You have to.
You have to certainly consider it. I don't know. I'll buy into it. Let's go. Why not?
I mean, there's also Marcus Carr that probably should be in there.
Marcus Carr could be in the mix.
Yeah.
Buddy Boeheim, I mentioned earlier. I don't know. All right, we can move on.
there's so many guys this year. It's so good for college, but I think that's why I'm so excited, because I think a lot of teams, it's similar to the NBA, a lot of teams in college basketball think they're the team. Like Texas, if we went to Texas right now and we were around some of the assistant coaches, they'd be like, yeah, we're actually going to win this year.
We're going to win the title.
Memphis is like, we're actually going to win this year. Hubert Davis is like, we're actually trying to win a title this year.
Yeah.
Coach K is like, I'm destined.
Yes,
this is my destiny. Like, this is a good year. Like, Coach Calipari is like, I'm back. It was a blip. The man said it was a blip. Not a bomb, just a blip. Chris Holtmann has something to prove.
Dude, that's what I was going to say. Ohio State is
Mark Few, Scott Drew.
Ohio State is what, like the 5th best team in the Big Ten? And I've talked myself into we're going to end up being talented enough to win the title. I don't
Illinois
expect us to.
thinks they're going to win the title.
I don't expect us to.
Villanova thinks they're going to win the title. You think you're going to win the title.
I don't think we're going to win the title. I said I think we're going to be talented enough to be in the mix.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is, you think you're going to win the title.
Yeah.
That's it. I
don't think we're going to win the title. That's literally not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying.
You're saying
that's not what I'm saying.
Ohio State.
Don't twist my words. What I'm saying.
At that crossword puzzle that they put up and used Ohio State first, and you were like, yes, we're going to win the title.
What I'm saying is you have to reach a certain threshold of how good you are to look like a national champion team. I think we will get in the threshold. I think we'll be in the mix. From there, it's a crapshoot. Who knows what can happen? We could test positive for COVID again 2 years in a row. I don't know. I'm just saying. I expect us to be good enough to be in the mix. That's all.
Would it be beautiful? Would it be poetic if we were in New Orleans?
Yeah.
At the Final Four, and there were 2 first-time head coaches that were in the Final Four,
and their names are,
over, and they're Mike Woodson, and they're Hubert Davis. That is what I'm looking for.
It's Jim Boeheim and Mike Woodson in New Orleans, and Jim Boeheim loses to IU in New Orleans again.
No. I think Indiana and Carolina in New Orleans. I feel
dude, we gotta get you on track, dude. You're losing it. You're losing your mind over there.
No, I mean, this is AP top 5 season. This is blue blood, true blood talk. You know what I mean? This is what the AP's
you know what season
been.
this is trolls in the Apple reviews saying stop talking about Carolina so much season.
I never even talk about Carolina. But I'm talking about him right now because it's AP top 5 blue blood season.
Speaking of that, I want to run some Vegas odds by you really quickly.
Please.
Because this kind of blew my mind. And by
also, I said Paolo Banchero. Put him on the team.
All right, you said a lot of stuff. You threw a lot of darts at that dartboard, dude.
I'm having fun.
So we're gonna see.
We're so close to the real season.
Gonzaga is the obvious favorite.
Yes.
To win. This is according to where do I go? Which one do I do? I literally just searched like college basketball futures, and then whatever the first one is, VegasInsider.com.
There you go.
Is that?
I don't think it's reputable.
Why is it first? They pay for the.
Yeah, I mean, first isn't always reputable. You know what I mean?
I don't know. Whatever.
But check it.
Which one's reputable?
No, they're all. I mean, it's gambling.
College basketball odds. Let me see what else is up here.
I think
Let me pull up some other ones then.
DraftKings.
Vegas Inside. OddShark. DraftKings.
OddShark is fine.
OddShark.
There you go.
That's too hard to sort out. They got too much going on. We're gonna go off of this one.
Just go off.
Because they Vegas Insider has Gonzaga plus 600. Don't know what that means. But Michigan is number 2, Tate.
To win the title.
Yes, to win the title. UCLA.
So Hunter Dickinson's the most agreed by this top 5 list.
Yes,
I get that.
Yes,
I like that.
Yes,
that's a good storyline.
So Michigan seems to be the biggest difference with the AP poll and Vegas. That Vegas believes in Michigan. What are they, 7th to start the season, or is that Purdue? They're 6th.
So maybe it was Juwan Howard I saw in my Final Four vision. It was North Carolina with Hubert Davis.
AP poll preseason basketball. Let me pull that up again. Juwan Howard? What are you saying?
In the Final Four. First-time Final Four. It's 2 first-time Final Four coaches.
Michigan.
Chris Beard, Juwan Howard. Mike Woodson.
So Michigan is 2nd. UCLA is plus 1,200. Villanova is plus 1,200. Duke is 14, and Purdue is 1,400. Texas is plus 1,600. Memphis is plus 1,600. Kentucky and Kansas are both plus 1,600. And I guess my question to you is, as a guy who loves Kansas, is that explain to our people that are listening? Is this not free money that Kansas is plus 1,600? I don't know. I don't gamble. I don't understand.
When you said value bet earlier, this is a value bet.
Is this the one? Is this the one that jumps out to you?
I think so. I mean, that's really ridiculous. I had not seen that.
Why is Kansas so low on this list?
Because I think they remember that Remy Martin was an AP top 5 last year, and they remember the results of that. Maybe I as we've been talking, my Kansas love may wane a little bit, but I do love those odds. Those are ridiculous odds. I mean, even plus 600 Gonzaga, those are pretty ridiculous odds. I would take those.
You would take Gonzaga plus 600. What?
I would put $100 on Gonzaga to win the title at plus 600 and feel like that was money well spent.
I'm just gonna shut up and just let you go and watch you say all these teams are gonna win the title.
No, I'm just saying.
Every single one.
Yeah, I mean, at that value, that's pretty good. You talk about value bets. I mean, plus 600 for Gonzaga. I thought it would be like plus 250. You know, like somewhere like they should be the favorite to win the title. They have Chet Holmgren and Drew Timme.
But Kansas is your number one.
Yeah, because I love Kansas. I love this Kansas team.
We've got to stop. I'm punting on this whole segment. I'm punting on this whole show. Let's do shout-outs and closeouts.
I mean, you gotta. There's multitudes to the conversation, but I do think that if you look at that list of teams, shout-outs and closeouts.
I'm punting on this whole show. We brought up the Carolina Floods. You rattled him, Jim. I think you pointed out that
Florida didn't
I think
score.
we pointed out that Brady Manick was 4 of your 6-minute highlight, and
I
that the score was blurred out. I think it's been rattled.
I know we're a football school. You know what I mean? It's all good.
Now you spent the rest of the show trying to slowly talk yourself back into Carolina by saying Caleb Love, Armando Bacot, and Brady Manick should be on the preseason All-American team.
Brady was a joke. The other two are up for consideration.
All I was gonna say was Kansas, because I got asked about Vegas odds so much that it
Kansas
prompted
plus
me to
1600 is good. Yeah, that's a really good
It prompted
bet.
me to look into it, and I was stunned that Kansas was so low. I was stunned that I think Kentucky's going to be better than what this reflects too. Kentucky, as a reminder, it's really easy to say. We say this every year. You guys are Blue Blood podcast. You're gassing up the Blue Bloods. I understand all that. Kentucky's roster: Severe Wheeler, Georgia's leading scorer last year. Davion Mintz, Kentucky's leading scorer last year. He's back.
And Mintz is coming off the bench.
He's coming
apparently.
off the bench.
Yeah,
that's what I was going to say.
Washington is starting instead of him.
Kentucky's leading scorer from last year is back. Not even going to start.
Yeah.
Keldon Grady, who's Davidson's leading scorer for the last 12 years.
Also coming off the bench.
Probably going to come off the bench.
Yeah.
He's there. Keon Brooks is back. He was a leading rebounder for Kentucky last year. Shubway, who was West Virginia's leading scorer, he only played 6, 7, 8 games, whatever, last year before he transferred.
Starting.
He was West Virginia's leading scorer the last full season he played.
Yep.
Ty Washington is apparently just blowing everyone away that's seen this guy play. And
a lot of Tyrese Maxey.
Yeah, and then CJ Frederick as reminders on the team, who I don't think is going to do much of anything, but I just reminded everybody that he's on the team. And the way that all went down when he transferred from Iowa.
You think he'll start?
I want to go out on a limb and say I do not think that he's going to start. I'm going to go out on a limb and say CJ Frederick, having a reputation as being a great defender at Iowa, looks a little bit different than as a great defender at Kentucky. Slightly different. But the Kentucky roster is full of dudes that were leading scorers on teams, are 5-star. I don't know.
And it's a Blue Bloods.
We've kind of been here before with Kentucky because they always have a talented roster on paper. But
he said it was a blip.
But this team is. I do think this team is going to be different, and they're going to be very good. So there's that. I don't know. Anyway, shout-outs, closeouts. Let's get to it.
I just want to shout. I mean, I want to shout out first and foremost those 5 guys that were in the starting 5. I mean, I'm excited for college basketball because of that. You know what I mean? We have some familiar faces. There was a time where we were lost at sea in college basketball. We were like one and done every year. I have to learn the entire new Duke roster. But now I look at Duke and I'm like, there's Joey Baker, there's Wendell Moore.
There's a lot of guys back.
No, I'm saying across college basketball. It's going to be a fun year. But now let's talk about someone I have to shout out. That's LaMelo Ball. LaMelo Ball and the Charlotte Hornets, historically, 3-0. First time ever in franchise history we are 3-0. Did you see this? Have you heard about this?
Really?
Yeah, the Charlotte Hornets are 3-0. We are the top of the East. It is the Chicago Bulls at 3-0, the Charlotte Hornets at 3-0, and then the Washington Wizards at 3-0 or 2-0. That's what's happening in the NBA.
Hang the banner? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm literally hang the banner. Grandmama, Muggsy Bogues, play all the highlights.
Can we redo the set here that we got?
Let's turn it into the Hive.
We got to freshen up our set anyway. We got the same set we had. I think we got to wait for the season to actually get started. But the set here at Fox, I think we need a banner hanging over your shoulder that says Charlotte Hornets started 3-0.
No,
2021 season.
And I know a lot of people at home are saying, well, the Panthers started 3-0. And to those people, I say, shut up. Stop.
No, I'm saying hang the banner there as well. 2 banners back to back.
Franchise history.
Panthers and Hornets both started 3-0.
You know what's crazy? They're playing the Celtics right now, and the Celtics are going to try to play spoil. Wow, we're down at halftime. We're down 2 at halftime.
The dream season might be coming to an end.
Oh my God.
The Hornets are going to slip in the AP poll if they lose this one.
Ridiculous.
How many Hornets are on your AP preseason All-American?
I mean, honestly, 4. I mean, Miles Bridges won 8. Miles Bridges won Eastern Conference Player of the Week. Him and Steph Curry. Steph Curry won for the West.
If you're wondering, folks, who pays attention to like these dumb awards that the NBA puts out, the answer is Tate.
Hey, I'm watching the games. I like
the
to
left-handed rookie.
John Morant probably should have won. But he didn't win. You know what I mean? He didn't win the games.
The left-handed rookie of the month on Tuesdays in November was Luke Kennard.
Luke Kennard getting paid. Getting paid.
You're the one paying attention to this. How about that? This shout-out's for Jim. Your favorite guy. We're shouting out Tristan Jass, a.k.a. T. Jass.
Yeah, I saw this.
And the Jass holes everywhere. As the president of the Jass Hole fan club.
Hell yes.
T. Jass, if you don't explain to the people who T. Jass is for those who haven't been paying attention to the show forever.
He's a layup god, and you can see his art on Instagram.com.
That's a good way to describe him. He does trick shot layups.
Yes. Yes. And if you're thinking to yourself, why doesn't he just dunk it? It's because he cannot dunk it.
He can't do it. Jim, how many years ago?
Why dunk it when you could throw it off the wall behind the backboard and then off your head and then kick it in?
Jim used to show me these videos like in between edits of things, and he'd be like, just watch this video real quick. Look at it. Look what TJ just put out.
Change basketball.
How many years ago? That was like 4 years ago. Jim would come into the offices at the Ringer and be like, "Are you guys going to talk about this kid on the show today?"
Yeah.
And he would just show us.
Pistol Pete can never.
And then he saw how pissed off we would get, and he would just troll us with T-Jazz. If you look at our group chat, I swear 50% of the links from Jim are just T-Jazz highlights. And he's like, what about this one?
You wonder how he has a million views?
Yeah.
It's because the videos are sent to us.
Could Mike Conley do this? And then he'd send me a link.
Yes.
T-Jazz. But T-Jazz today tweeted that he's 21 years old.
Yeah.
He has made a lot of money, as we know, from putting out these Instagrams and YouTubes and whatnot.
He bought his mom a house.
Yeah.
But in
Jim, I know everything about T-Jazz because of Jim.
In the era of name, image, likeness, the question that T-Jazz posed is, does he still have college eligibility, Tate?
Oh, T-Jazz.
Not even does he. Should he just go play college? Pretty much. He's like, should I?
So my question to the president of the Jazz Hole fan club,
yes,
Jim Cunningham, if you are advising T-Jazz, if you're his handler at 21 years old, he's done all there is to do on Instagram and YouTube. He's ready for the next chapter. Where are you advising him to go? What are you saying?
Not college. It's bigger than college basketball.
Agreed.
It would be funny if he went to UNC or Ohio State. Maybe does a year at each or splits it.
He goes to Monty Bates. He does 1 year at Carolina and 1 year at Ohio State.
You guys would love him.
Can you imagine?
I guess the pros just go
to the overtime
NBA.
league.
Or
go to Donda Academy. That's the move, right?
Yeah.
Donda Academy.
Overtime elites in there.
Or straight to Springfield. Hall of Fame.
If you think, what if the
Dream Team?
If the professor played T-Jazz,
they're boys.
They're
boys.
They are boys. Okay.
Professor said, "Great idea" or something to that tweet. He did. He was like the #1 reply to that tweet.
Oh my god.
The professor.
Yeah, and one mixtape tour was a great time. That's what T-Jazz should have been on.
I know.
That was real basketball.
What happened to What happened to
Cadillac?
Who was the
Hot Sauce?
Oh yeah, I guess
Hot Sauce was the best.
Yeah. What happened to the other dude that you love? Was it Newman? Julian Newman, was it? Is that his name?
Julian Israel Newman. Yep.
What happened to him? Where's he now?
I think he's in the NBA. No, he didn't make it.
No,
he's on the Hornets, right?
He must have gotten hurt.
Is he on the Hornets?
Dude, all we have is All-Stars.
Did he get hurt?
Our entire roster is All-Stars.
He must have gotten hurt.
Shout out to T-Jazz. If we can get T-Jazz on the show, Jim, to make his college decision, I think we come full circle and we shut the show down. I think that's it. I think if we can make that happen. So
all podcasts ever. Yeah. Doesn't get any better than that.
It does not get any better than that. If T-Jazz comes on the show and announces...
I honestly would know too much about him, you know what I mean? I don't think I could talk to...
Titus and Tate and T-Jazz? You'd be too nervous?
No, I just couldn't. I would be laughing the entire time. I couldn't.
He looks like Mac McClung's brother that tagged along too much, and then Mac.
Maybe we have him on and ask him questions like he is Mac McClung.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We ask him about the shot against Texas.
I
think you just answer.
I also want to bring up the ongoing fight that'll never end between our states of North Carolina and Ohio.
Yes.
That Ohio redesigned a license plate and they put.
Embarrassing.
Did they put First in Flight on the license plate?
Yeah, they did.
I think we did. Yeah.
Well, no, you guys put Birthplace of Aviation, but
Birthplace of Aviation still. Yeah, Carolina's first in flight.
We are first in flight because Michael Jordan is also first in flight. You know, when you talk about dunking from the free throw line.
New York's Michael Jordan.
Yeah, born in Brooklyn.
Jesus Christ.
Thank you.
Jesus Christ.
Shout out.
Is he from North Carolina too? Jesus Christ.
Yes, he was. He was born in Wilmington, North Carolina. Basketball Jesus.
Oh my God.
Meadowlark Lemon. You ever heard of him, Meadowlark Lemon?
The state of Ohio redesigned the license plate. What do we do? I don't live in Ohio anymore, so I don't have to defend this. But
all I saw was that the North Carolina Department of Transportation was just like, bless your heart. Basically,
we put
that's what we said. Bless your heart.
I think they put the plane on backwards.
Yeah, exactly. So we said bless your heart. We didn't say
yeah.
anything mean. We just said bless your heart because that just shows that we are the flight experts.
Okay.
We are first in flight. If you did not have our win, you would not be able to fly. Facts. If you didn't have our beaches and our wind, you wouldn't have been able to fly. Bang. It was us.
Okay. The wind. They were the wind.
They said something more snarky than bless your heart. They said, y'all leave Ohio alone. They wouldn't know they weren't there.
They were not there. That's true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Great point. I mean, honestly, that was better than bless your heart.
Jim, give us a ruling on this. The Wright brothers from Ohio, they had one of my Ohio State guys pointed out, reminded me that Orville Wright, I believe, had Ohio State football season tickets. He was a Buckeye through and through.
No, he didn't.
Archie Griffin jersey.
Love Justin Field.
Can we just say this, that it is pretty wild that it was only 100 years ago.
It is
that
wild.
They figured out flight.
I was thinking this on the flight back from Mississippi. We're flying. We got delayed by like a half an hour on this. We were on like one of those 10 wide. It was like one of those new age.
Yeah.
Where there's like 7 class. It felt like I was a Titanic. It was like 7 different classes of passengers or whatever. Massive plane, 10 across in certain rows and whatever. There must have been 10,000 people on this flight from Dallas to LA, Tate. We get delayed like a half an hour and everyone's raising a stink about it and they're just like, oh my God. And I was thinking like how insane because the captain comes on the intercom and he's like, we have to refuel. It's going to take whatever. And you could just hear people bitching like, why would you not, like, of course you have to refuel. You couldn't refuel before. And I thought how insane it was that it's been like 100 years. We went from like literally not even being able to fly to now that if you're delayed 30 minutes, it's like a crisis. It's like a catastrophe.
It's a major inconvenience. It's why I believe that we're probably gonna be able to teleport, in the next like 40 years.
That's insane. Are we gonna do that from North Carolina too?
No, probably.
Is Carolina gonna take credit for that too?
No, we do everything. I mean, look, you're welcome. That should be our slogan.
Jim,
Instead
we
of
need
first
you.
in flight, you're welcome.
We need Jim to research this and do an official ruling.
Look up Meadowlark Lemon
for
basketball.
Not right now. No, throw out Meadowlark Lemon, Michael Jordan. I'm talking about the Wright brothers from Ohio. Build the plane in Ohio. Everything was conceived in Ohio, and then they just went to Carolina because they needed the beach. Because that's it. That's I mean, it was built in Ohio. It's an Ohio thing.
Bred in North Carolina.
Anything else? Is that it? The debate continues.
I mean, I'm not upset. I'm just saying it was a great moment in history, for both parties. At least we were involved at some level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At least we got a slogan out of it. That's all we can do.
We both got slogans out of it.
We both got slogans.
What else? What else? Is there anything else?
No, not really. Honestly, I mean, shout out to HBO Sundays. Curb's back.
Curb back. Yep.
That was a great time. Do you think Susie plopped? I
haven't watched Curb yet.
Oh wow.
I haven't watched Curb yet.
We'll talk about this later.
Yeah, I watched.
Susie plopped.
I don't know what that means, but I have a good idea. I have one of my buddy's wives. He only has one wife. My buddy's wife.
Yeah. Okay. Nice.
is we have a Susie Larry relationship where I don't know how else to describe it, but Susie Larry, she doesn't watch Curb either, so every time I bring it up to her, she like doesn't get it. She doesn't get
and
the
that
reference.
would be very Susie. Yeah, she's like, I don't watch your stupid shows.
I don't want your, I don't watch your stupid shows. Like every time I see it, she saw me recently and was like, what are you doing for exercise? And I was like, I don't know. I jog, and I guess I don't know, I try to lift every so often. She's like, you're not on a and she criticized like my workout routine, and I was just sitting there just like on the one hand, what the hell? On the other hand, like everyone from Ohio that hasn't seen me in a while just talks about how I look like I'm dying and all of that. So it was nice to have one person just swerve and be like,
you're skinny in LA, so like when you go home, you're like basically frail.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And she was just I don't know. So the point is every time I watch a show, I think about my friend's wife, who she knows who she is. if you're listening.
Do you think she's listening?
No, she's not.
I was gonna say that would be really cool.
What do you even do for a job, Mark?
Yeah, let me listen so I can hear how stupid it is.
Oh man. My final shout out. Avery Bradley has reignited the NBA trillion discussion, and I just wanted to shout out all the NBA players that are putting up
the
massive
Tony
trillions.
Snell is what they're calling it. But
yeah,
I was
Worldwide
very upset
Wob.
about this.
Yeah, Worldwide Wob called it the Tony Snell.
And then people were jocking that from him. I didn't even see him call.
It's a whole thing. That's what those nerds on NBA Twitter are. I don't know.
I don't understand it.
It's a runaway train, dude. You can't stop the NBA Twitter nerds.
Should we start college basketball Twitter?
I saw Seth Davis tweeted that NBA Twitter is the best Twitter. He said this not too long ago, and I was like, Seth, buddy. I mean, I don't know where we even begin with that one.
Oh gosh.
So
Seth's the first reporter to get a secret scrimmage scoop. You know what I mean? Like that's his energy with that kind of statement. All right.
That's the show. We'll see you guys on when are we doing? Friday. We're last road trip, Jim. We're going to Jacksonville. We're doing the Florida Georgia.
That's a fun time.
World's Largest Cocktail Party. They don't call it that anymore, Tate, because everyone got too drunk and there were too many alcohol-related
I was gonna
problems.
say, I was supposed to go to that one year. I had to back out. You know,
they got to come up with something though, because you can't
it's
call
a
it.
wild time. People lose their minds.
Yeah, Georgia was your safety school, right?
Not my safety school. It was my first choice at one time. I told my parents I was going to be Dominique Wilkins and not Michael Jordan. And then my parents later on took me to the Duke-Carolina game, and we won. And they looked at me, and they were like, do you want to be do you want to be Michael Jordan? And I was like,
They got to come up with a new name, though. Florida-Georgia game. It sounds like Florida-Georgia line. And it gets a little... You need like a... Just bring the cocktail party back. Just call it the cocktail party. We all know what's going on. Who cares?
I get we got to change like some of the names of these rivalries, but it does get confusing, you know.
We don't need to change that one.
Yeah.
Who cares? But we're going. We're going to Jacksonville, and it'll be a
say hi.
Good time. Yeah. So Jim is very excited, as you can tell.
Yeah. Don't really. Stay away from me.
See you guys then. Later.
Peace.